I never imagined that the darkest night of my life would also reveal who my real family truly was, and who had only pretended to love me. My name is Elena. At 26 years old, I thought I had everything I'd ever dreamed of. A loving husband, Marcus, who looked at me like I was the only woman in the world. A cozy little apartment we filled with baby clothes and soft lullabies. And our precious baby girl, Sophia, who was supposed to arrive in just 4 more weeks. Life felt warm, safe, full of promise. That all shattered on a cold, rainy Tuesday night. Marcus was driving us home from my last prenatal appointment. The wipers were sweeping steadily across the windshield, and I had my hand resting on my belly, feeling Sophia kick softly. "She's going to be a dancer," I whispered to him with a smile. He laughed that deep, comforting laugh and squeezed my hand. "As long as she has your heart, she'll be perfect." Then came the blinding headlights. The truck ran the red light at full speed. The impact was violent, like the world exploded around us. Metal twisted and screamed. Glass rained down like sharp diamonds. My body slammed forward, then everything went black. The last thing I remember was the searing pain in my abdomen and a desperate prayer. "Please, God, save my baby." I woke up in the sterile hospital room hours later. Machines beeping around me, my body aching in ways I didn't know were possible. Tubes were everywhere. My legs felt heavy, my mind foggy from the medication. The first words out of my cracked lips were, "My baby. Where's my baby?" The nurse's face softened with compassion. "She's in the NICU, Mrs. Elena. She came early, but she's a fighter. Tiny, but breathing on her own with a little help. Your husband is in surgery. He's stable for now." Tears flooded my eyes. I wanted to hold her, to see her tiny fingers and hear her cry. But I was too weak to even sit up. In that moment of terror and overwhelming love, I needed my parents. I had always turned to them in hard times. My mom, with her warm hugs and soothing words. My dad, the strong man who could fix anything. They would come. They would rally around us. With shaking hands, I called them. My voice was barely above a whisper. "Mom, Dad, there's been a terrible crash. The baby came early. Sophia is in the NICU. Marcus is hurt. Please, I'm so scared. I need you here." Silence. Then my mother's voice, sharp and icy, cut through the phone like a knife. "Elena, we warned you about marrying that man. We told you he wasn't good enough, that this life you chose would bring nothing but trouble. We're not coming. You made your choice. Live with it." I gasped, the pain in my chest worse than any physical injury. "Mom, this is your granddaughter. She's so small. She might not make it without family around her. Please." My father's voice replaced hers, cold and final. "Don't call us again, Elena. We're done cleaning up your mistakes." The phone fell from my hand onto the thin hospital blanket. I stared at the white ceiling, tears streaming silently down my face. Shattered, completely destroyed. These were the same parents who had thrown me birthday parties with handmade cakes, who bragged about me to their friends, who once cried happy tears when I told them I was pregnant. Now, because I chose love over their approval, they refused to even acknowledge their own flesh and blood. Lying fragile in an incubator just floors away, I felt utterly alone in the world, betrayed by the very people who were supposed to protect me. The rain outside my window seemed to mirror the storm inside my soul, but what I didn't know, lying there broken and abandoned, was that someone from my past had already heard the call of blood and love. Help was coming, and it would change everything. The following days melted into one long nightmare of fear, pain, and deepening heartbreak. Marcus remained in critical condition after surgery on his broken ribs and internal injuries. I couldn't walk yet, couldn't hold my daughter. The nurses brought me photos of little Sophia, her tiny body hooked up to monitors, fighting so bravely. She weighed just over 4 pounds. Every time I saw her picture, my heart clenched with a love so fierce it hurt. I kept hoping my parents would change their minds. I sent text after text, voice messages filled with sobs. "She has your eyes, Mom. Please come see her." No replies. Not even a simple "How is she?" The silence was louder than any scream. It exposed the truth I had been avoiding for years. Their love had always come with strings. Strings I had finally cut when I married Marcus against their wishes. Marcus woke up after 3 days, weak but alive. When I told him what my parents had done, his face filled with quiet anger and deep sadness for me. "We'll get through this, Elena. Together. Our little family is enough," His words gave me strength, but the wound from my parents festered. That's when I remembered Grandpa Thomas, my maternal grandfather. He had been pushed out of our lives when I was 12 after a huge argument with my parents. I only had vague, warm memories, his big hands lifting me onto his shoulders, storytelling on the porch about his youth, the way he always smelled like coffee and old books. My parents had called him difficult, stubborn. Now I wondered what the real story was. Desperate, I found his old number and called late one night, my voice breaking. "Grandpa, it's Elena. I don't know if you even remember me, but I need help." There was a long pause, then his deep, gravelly voice, thick with emotion. "Elena, my little star? Of course I remember you. What's happened, sweetheart? Tell Grandpa everything." I poured it all out: the crash, Sophia's early birth, Marcus's injuries, and worst of all, how my own parents had refused to come. I cried so hard I could barely breathe. Grandpa listened without interrupting. When I finished, he said firmly, "I'm packing a bag right now. I'll be there by morning. You are not alone anymore." True to his word, Grandpa Thomas arrived the next day. An older man in his late 70s, with silver hair, a slight limp from old age, but eyes that still burned with life and love. He walked into my hospital room carrying flowers and a soft teddy bear for Sophia. When he saw her through the NICU glass, tears rolled freely down his weathered cheeks. "She looks just like your grandmother did as a baby," he whispered. "Strong, beautiful. She's going to be okay." Grandpa became my lifeline. He stayed in a cheap motel nearby, brought me home-cooked meals, sat with me during the endless nights of worry, and even read stories to Sophia through the incubator. Slowly, he began sharing truths I had never heard. "Your parents changed after I tried to stop them from making some bad financial decisions years ago," he told me one evening. "They cut me off, spread lies about me to the rest of the family. They've always been more concerned with control and appearances than with real love. I'm so sorry I couldn't protect you from that sooner." Each revelation felt like another layer of betrayal peeling away. I had spent years doubting myself, wondering if I was the difficult daughter. Now I saw the pattern: the manipulation, the conditional affection, the way they discarded people who didn't obey. My mother called again while Grandpa was visiting. I put her on speaker, my hands trembling. "Elena, we heard about the baby. If you want our support, you need to leave that man and come home. We'll raise the child the right way without his influence." Grandpa's face turned to stone. He took the phone gently. "This is Thomas. You will stay away from my granddaughter and great-granddaughter. You abandoned them in their darkest hour. The only influence this child needs is real love." The call ended abruptly. I broke down in Grandpa's arms, feeling exposed and raw, but also lighter. The pain was still there, but something new was growing: resolve. As weeks passed, Sophia gained weight, Marcus recovered enough to visit her, and I took my first shaky steps. Grandpa's presence reminded me daily: betrayal breaks you open, but it also lets the light in. "You're stronger than you know, Elena." I started to believe it. Grandpa didn't just bring comfort, he brought justice wrapped in quiet wisdom. Over the years, he had quietly kept records of my parents' manipulations: old letters, financial documents, witness statements from relatives they had also hurt. When I was strong enough, we met with a lawyer. The evidence painted a clear picture of years of emotional and financial control. The car crash and their public abandonment of their premature granddaughter became the final, undeniable proof of their character. The climax came in family court during the emergency hearing for guardianship and child support. My parents arrived, dressed impeccably, smiling confidently, ready to portray me as unstable and ungrateful. The courtroom was tense. I sat between Marcus and Grandpa, my heart pounding. When it was my turn to speak, I looked directly at them, voice steady despite the tears in my eyes. "You refused to see your own granddaughter when she was fighting for every breath. You turned your backs on me while I lay broken in a hospital bed. I was shattered, terrified, and alone because of your pride and control. But I am not that broken woman anymore. Sophia will never feel the pain of your rejection. She has real family now." Grandpa presented the documents calmly and powerfully. The judge's expression hardened as the truth unfolded. My parents' faces went pale. The ruling was swift and decisive: full guardianship to us, no visitation rights for them, and legal consequences for past actions began to surface. Old fraud claims were reopened. Their carefully curated reputation in the community crumbled as word spread. Friends distanced themselves. The control they had wielded for decades slipped away. I didn't feel triumphant or vengeful, just a deep, quiet peace. They had chosen this path. They had destroyed the bridge to their daughter and granddaughter. Now they stood alone on the other side. Today, Sophia is a healthy, smiling toddler who lights up every room. Marcus and I are stronger than ever. Grandpa lives close by and spoils her rotten with stories and hugs the kind of grandfather every child deserves. Our home is filled with laughter, not conditional love. If there's one lesson I want you to carry from my story, it's this: true family shows up when you're at your lowest. Blood means nothing if there's no love behind it. Betrayal will break your heart, but it also reveals your incredible strength. Protect your peace, protect your children, and never be afraid to build the family you truly deserve, even if it means letting go of those who never deserved you. Thank you for walking through this painful but healing journey with me. If you've ever been betrayed by family, share your story in the comments below. You are seen. You are stronger than you know. The best revenge isn't anger, it's living a beautiful life surrounded by those who choose you every single day. Until next time, hold your loved ones close and stay strong.